Recovering Queen, the Queen fan podcast where we talk about and play the songs we love. With Jay, Matt, and Ian.
Welcome to Recovering Queen, the Queen fan podcast where we take a famous or not so famous Queen song, do a cover version of it, and then talk about what we've discovered about the methods and the madness of the greatest band that has ever been, and ever will be probably, Queen. My name's Ian, and with me as ever are my two co-hosts, Matt and Jay.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening, gents. So what Queen track, famous or not so famous, are we talking about on this sunny afternoon?
I'm not sure whether it's famous or not famous.
It's kind of in the between, really, isn't it?
It's had its outings, hasn't it? Is this the world we created?
Or not?
Question mark.
Is it ... Is this the world we created? Question mark.
No, I think it's is this the world we created ... Question mark.
Oh, is that right? Okay. Ongoing Queen punctuation project. So, yeah, I mean, it doesn't get much bigger platform that it had, because didn't they come back on after their legendary performance at Live Aid and perform this to the crowd?
They certainly did. I remember it clearly. And I was thinking about this in the week. They must have known by that point, because this is quite a few hours, isn't it, after that legendary set. If memory serves me correct, that was sort of lunchtime-ish or a bit after lunch, the initial set that just absolutely stormed it. And so by the time they came back for their essential encore, it was evening, wasn't it? It was 8 o'clock or something. I can't remember the exact time.
Yeah, I think so.
But it was late on. They must have heard by this point that they'd actually, that everyone was raving about them and that they'd raised the roof and they were the best singer. I mean, they must have been so pumped up. And I remember them coming out and doing this track, and I was like, oh yes, they're back. And I didn't know they were coming back. It was so short. And I was like, oh, I was so frustrated. It's like they're back, but what was it, 2 minutes and they're gone again?
I remember being really confused by it. Why this track and what is it? And I think I've finally found the actual track had appeared on a Greenpeace album, multi-artist compilation albums out at the time by Greenpeace. And I think that might be the reason why it was part of that encore, because I still don't really get it, because unless they think that the song was so in keeping with the event itself.
Guess that must have had something to do with it. Plus they knew they were going to get a rapturous welcome back on stage, didn't they?
Well, I mean, it was the poignancy, surely, of the track.
Yeah.
And the event. I mean, they were raising money for Africa, weren't they? It seemed very poignant and pertinent.
Here's a little fact I remember from the time was that Queen record sales went up something like 300% after their performance. Live Aid completely turned around Queen's career and put them back in the big league.
Mm.
It was like that when you went into a record shop the following week. It was like everything was there as you walked in, all the albums ready for purchase.
So in Bohemian Rhapsody, the movie, they didn't include that bit of the set, did they?
No.
Can I ask a question about Bohemian Rhapsody, the movie? When you sat through the Live Aid performance part of it, were you like me sitting there going, why am I having to sit through a mimed version of the whole performance? Or did you like it?
I liked it in the context of the documentary, but
Yeah, I definitely had a schism. I was watching it definitely from 2 points of view, and I was thinking that they'd done a really good job on this.
I mean, it is an astonishing achievement what they've achieved with it.
Yeah.
In the context of the film, I think it's wonderful. I just really, really think it's great. Kind of puts you back there, and it's a great bit of entertainment. But to put it on like now, out of context of the film, it's just like, well, why would you do that? Why would you ever watch it in isolation? I wouldn't understand that.
Well, why would anyone ever watch it?
Yeah, outside of the context of the film.
What?
I do, because it's actually amazing.
Yeah, I do
it's
as well.
Such a good performance. It's such a good performance. It's on the DVD of Live in Montreal, that there was a special DVD version of it which had the Live Aid performance and the
You're
rehearsals
talking about
on it.
Queen's Live Aid performance.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I'm not talking about the section of the film.
I see.
I was in all kinds of
Oh
panic.
God! Yeah, no. I was thinking,
what's happened? What's happened to Ian?
Oh right, that we were definitely. Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
I was having another schism.
Yeah.
It was another Love Me Like There's No Tomorrow moment.
Yeah, it was a bit like that.
See Minisode, Mr. Bad Guy, episode 2 for the Love Me Like There's No Tomorrow schism.
I suppose it was interesting that they ended up in the film. That's what they chose as their kind of denouement or finale or whatever you want to call it. That, I mean, yeah, I suppose it kind of makes sense now having seen the film in a way. But it's, when I first saw it, I didn't think, oh yeah, they're going to end up with the Live Aid appearance as the end point. I thought it was in some ways a bit weird. That's like the end of the story. Well, not really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just not seen a film about someone where they decide to choose one bit of their life and show it in its entirety, down to the nth detail.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I could never get over the fact that the actor Malik didn't look like Freddie Mercury, doesn't have the same body shape or anything else, and so the whole thing was just weird, uncanny valley type thing.
Universally praised, though, pretty much.
I know. I must admit, I may be the only person on earth that I enjoyed the movie immensely, as in the cinema.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it, but
Absolutely.
it's a terrible film.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, it's like what the hell?
As a piece of entertainment, it's fine, though, isn't it? I think it would have made much more sense to really finish it off with Nebworth. That would have been the natural thing with 250,000 Queen fans. You know, people there that have absolute there for Queen. It was Queen's Day. Or was it? No, it was only one performance, wasn't it?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
It's a good question, though, that we should ask. You know, on the Twitter sphere is what should have been the last point of the film? Was that the right place to leave it? Should there have been a different ending?
I have no objection with it being the last point of the film, and I think the Live Aid is a good place to finish, because in the public's imagination, that's one of the seminal Queen moments.
Yeah, that's true.
But it was just the fact that it was just sitting through an entire mime of it. Just seem weird. If I want to sit through that, I will go and watch the actual one.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But as an achievement, an artistic achievement, it is astonishing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting off tack a little
we
bit,
certainly
aren't we?
Yeah.
So unfortunately, we have to talk about the song now.
Is This a World Recreated? It was written in Munich. Weirdest combination, never been seen before or since. Freddie Mercury and Brian May come together to write a song.
Right.
And Mercury wrote most of the lyrics. So I think a lot of people assume that May wrote a lot of the lyrics, but Mercury really does make a point that he wrote them. And he said that the whole process, this is Freddie's words, the whole process would have been impossible had they not been sort of time limited. It was just like, right, we've got to get on with this. And so they put their egos aside and quickly wrote the song together.
Sounds like it. I mean, come on. They are a little bit crunchingly obvious lyrics, aren't they? It's not skillful.
No, it's not skillful. It does sound like it's been put together quite quickly, I think. But I don't mind the fact that it's, that's, for me, I think it's such a lovely little tune, and Freddie's performance on it is beautifully understated. I kind of get the impression that maybe Brian came up with the guitar and Freddie came up with the melody and sang over the top of it. I don't know if that's true, but it sort of feels like something that was maybe done in a day or two, but that's okay, isn't it? It's just
speed we don't mind about. Yeah, I guess I just don't think it's very good. That's all.
Do you know what? I think out of all the kind of well-meaning lyric songs, it's not one of the worst. It has some spiky lyrics in it, which could be read as anti-colonialism which is pretty unusual for Queen to be sort of treading into that unless they've done it accidentally.
What was the line, Matt?
Well, the line is that we invaded against the law.
Ah,
I think the lyrics are better than either of you two are suggesting. I don't know.
is this the world we invaded? Isn't it?
Yeah, the world we invaded against the law. Yeah. If that is a kind of nod to colonialism, it seems an odd place in their career to have been doing it. Or
Seems a bit
even
vague to me.
But we said that lyrics are often vague because Queen like to let people
Yeah,
take away some of their own meaning to them.
yeah. So that's what your meaning is for it.
I'm not sure that this song means enough to me for me to really place that much meaning on it.
I think that's where I'm coming from. That it's a very short song. You've got very little time, and you've got very few lines. So you've got to make each one really count. And on such a complex, difficult subject, they can be written quickly, I guess. But it was probably worth really going to town on it and. I don't know, maybe getting Peter Straker in to help them to see if he could just make it slightly
More witty.
a weighty topic, just taken a little with a little bit more, I don't know, a little bit more panache somehow. It's it's kind of that thing, that very kind of simple. Humans are bad, and we've created loads of really bad problems everywhere, and we don't seem to be able to put it right. What could, if there is a God, what does he think about us? And it's like, well, it's kind of quite a simplistic view of the situation.
Well, yeah, if there's a God in the sky looking down is super simplistic view of God, isn't it? But and it's like, well, hang on a second, God, surely this is all your fault.
and it doesn't really offer even a suggestion about what to do about it. Then because third verse,
it's not a manifesto for sure.
The actual thing that winds me up the most, I think, about this track is the recording itself is awful.
It's Brian May's guitar sound that winds me up about it.
It's terrible. It says it's recorded on an Ovation, but I don't think it is. I think it's recorded on the Gibson Chet Atkins, which is like this really thin acoustic guitar that you could play live, which is what he uses live, but you can plug it in and just record it directly plugged in from a jack, and it doesn't feed back so much. But that's what it sounds. That's what the recording sounds like to me, and not like it sounds like a plugged-in classical guitar. And how much, if you're in a recording studio, why do it that way? Why not get a really nice classical guitar, mic it up, and make it sound nice?
Well, yeah.
But it just sounds awful.
If you're in your own studio which you own, with Mac there, one of the greatest, producers, why can't you get a really beautiful, classical guitar tone? Because the playing is obviously magnificent.
The playing's really good.
It's really nice. It's a really nice arrangement. But yeah, just the sound, I've never been a fan. If it is an Ovation, I've never been a fan of Ovations. If it's the Chet Atkins, then I shan't be putting one of those on my shopping list, that's for sure.
And
they're expensive as well, those.
And are we being a bit unfair on the lyrical stuff still? Because this comes after Hammer to Fall, doesn't it, on the album, which is, it's all nuclear disaster, apocalypse, and and the time at that period, the mid 80s was very
much of its time. Isn't it?
There was the arms race, and people were worried about nuclear war and so on, and that was very much on people's minds at the time. And so if you take it in context of this being the song to follow it in a sort of like we are the champions, we will rock you kind of way, it's a little. One song, with another follows another that makes sense. Does that give it a little bit more credence in terms of how it
yes, I would agree with you to a degree. It does. It doesn't make it any better, but it does kind of explain it somewhat. That it was, everyone was singing about this stuff then, weren't they? It was so that you had to have a conscience if you were like a rock band.
Yeah.
had to have your political songs.
The song that it apparently replaces, so they needed a ballad for the album, what Freddie described as a limpid ballad. And he goes, we needed one of those real limpid ballads, darling. So, love of my life type thing. And so that's why they wrote it, because he did have There Must Be More to Life Than This. So as the final track of the works, so that would have been the final track of the works. But for some reason, it's not included on the works. So is it Mercury that's decided I need that for my solo album? Or is it the band have gone, don't really like this song, Freddie, can we do something else? And Freddie's gone, actually, I like it, I'm going to do it on my solo album. It's hard to know what the story is there.
The works isn't a long album, and Is This the World Created isn't a long track, so I'm sure they could have included it all if they wanted to.
Well, no, I think having 2 tracks, if you had There Must Be More to Life Than This followed by Is This the World We Created would be rubbish. I mean, that really would be awful.
They're not far off being the same song, are they, really? Let's be honest.
Well, you'd probably put one on side 1 and one on side 2. You'd
but even then
apart,
it would, don't you think it would off balance the whole album?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. You can only have one of them on an album each. That's the rules.
Yeah, it would be really weird to have 2 sort of
limpid ballads.
Hard Life on there as well, haven't you?
With almost identical lyrics.
Yeah,
they are similar.
It's the same sentiment, isn't it, through both? So
now here's the Holy Grail. This is the Holy Grail. Is Freddie put a piano part to the song?
Ooh, did he?
And it exists somewhere, but that has never surfaced. I'd love to hear that. I'd love to hear the piano.
That would be nice to hear that. Yeah.
Is that just the intro, or is that throughout the whole song?
I don't know.
I did hear there was an intro at one point that they started off with, and then it got canned, and they just went to guitar. But I didn't know that was the whole thing. It would be amazing if it'd be really nice to hear it, wouldn't it? So
if we'd known that, I think I might have tried to do a piano part for this version
in the style of Freddie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you've got a beautiful version on the guitar, Matt. I mean, you really absolutely got that to a T, I thought.
The difficulty was playing it all in one take, because it's one of the very few tracks that I've done without doing it to a click track or anything like that. It's just all free form. So it's hard to sort of, if you make a mistake. So it was just like getting very excited playing it all the way through with no mistakes was the achievement.
You can hear that. It sort of picks up energy as it goes through.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're getting excited because you're getting get towards the end, thinking I'm going to do it this time.
Have you ever seen that video of the kid doing the finishing that game? It's one of the best. It's one of the best videos ever. It's just like of him playing a game, and it's like one of these really hard games, and you're watching him, and you're going, "How on earth is he doing it?" And he's getting really excited as he's getting there at the end. It's so good, but it was like that. It was like that. It was like, so yeah, if you imagine it. But I really like the fact that you've added the extra bits on. So all your extra bits, I think, works really well on that track as well. So there was some things that they could have done to that track to make it better. The fact that really with a £100 setup, I got a better guitar sound than Brian is a little bit, and
yeah, it's a little bit curious, isn't it?
It's just nuts. It's literally all you need is an okay microphone and an okay classical guitar, and it sounded better. Yeah. Without being, I think it sounds better. I just think we got a better guitar sound, and it's which is odd, isn't it? We're talking about one of the biggest bands in the world in one of the best studios in the world.
Yeah, it's a mystery,
unexplainable. Yeah, absolutely. But it did turn into a live favourite from when it was introduced, and obviously didn't get many tours to get performed. But it was performed routinely, 70 performances in total, with the last obviously being Nebworth 86.
Mm-hmm. There was quite an interesting quote from was it Mac that did the production on that track?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when he was looking back on it, and he wasn't that impressed, and he wanted to rechristen the track. Is this the sound that we created?
Did he really, or have you just made that up?
I couldn't work out how to get a joke out of that, as you could tell.
Oh, if only that was
be
true.
Matt.
I'm sorry, Matt.
Oh, man.
Right to the bone.
I had something interesting to say then. I've forgotten what it was.
Was it something to do with time signatures or?
It was to do with tempo. It was to do with tempo because I actually this was a problem that we had a little bit because obviously I've done the guitar part completely free tempo, but the actual song itself does have these completely out of tempo pauses where things slow down and speed back up again in really quite nice ways. But I think the only way you can really do that is to have that kind of visual performance. So I kind of think that maybe Freddie and Brian did record this live.
Yeah, I think so. They were looking at each other when they recorded that. I'm sure of it.
Which might explain the guitar sound. So in other words, if Freddie and Brian are in the same room at the same time, it's going to be harder to mic up the guitar and not have Freddie bleeding all over it.
And then they might have then gone back to try and re-record it nicely, but never got
the
performance again. Yeah. That would explain it, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But it made it tricky for Jay and I to sort of be doing this over the internet as well, and because you can hear in this version that there's times where the vocal has to speed up as I'm coming back in because there's no visual clue, is there? There's no meter or anything. So it's hard to do. It's hard to do. But so that will explain. That might be the explanation for the poor sound. But I think the works sounds pretty ropey anyway, doesn't it? As a whole, it's cold, harsh sounding.
It's got its moments, hasn't it? But yeah, there's some. It's not my
sounded
favourite.
Quite futuristic. I remember at the time, and I remember thinking, wow, sounds incredibly modern. And I'm not sure I quite like it, but it does sound, like a bit like the future.
Sounds better than jazz.
Well, there's a podcast in its entirety on the production of jazz for sure.
Yeah, very weird. So scores on the doors. Oh, this will be good. This will be interesting.
I'll give it a 5. Its heart's in the right place.
Oh, a 5. Jay?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, it's more than a 5, that's for sure. It's not a 10. So it's definitely not a 9. Oh, 7 feels bold. I think I'm going to give it a 7 because I know what you're saying about the lyrics, but I think we need those big brushstroke messages for I mean, bearing in mind, not everybody speaks English and they're a global band. And I think I might have made this point on when we spoke about the Freddie song on the Mr. Bad Guy. But I think even though it can seem a little bit crass and simplistic, I think that's quite important to get there. It's almost like slogans, isn't it? Wealthy man sitting on his throne. What have we done it for? I think that it's still, nonetheless, it's not Bob Dylan, but it's important to say it and to say it in a way that everyone can understand it. And particularly important with what's going on with climate change today and so on. So yeah, a healthy 7 I'm going to go for.
I think for some of the same reasons, I'm going to give it a 5. It feels too formulaic. It feels like they're doing precisely what you're asking them to do in some ways. So I think I'm going to have to give it a 5. I'm almost tempted to give it a 4 because I'm thinking of other Queen songs that are just so much better. And then it's like, well, what gets 4s and 3s? I'm going to give it a 4.
Oof.
They're getting voted off this week.
Yes.
So here it is, the duet by Matt and Jay of Is This the World We Created?
Is this the sound we created?
Just look at all those hungry mouths we have to feed. Take a look at all the suffering we breed. So many lonely faces scattered all around, searching for what they need. Is this the world we created? What did we do it for? Is this the world we invaded against the law? So it seems in the end, is this what we're all living for today? The world that we created. You know that every day a helpless child is born, who needs some loving care inside a happy home. Somewhere a wealthy man is sitting on his throne, waiting for life to go by. Is this the world we created? We made it on our own. Is this the world we devastated right to the bone? There's a God in the